right, welcome back to the next episode of the Beach Court Podcast. That's Parker Greenwald. That's Max Corcoran. I'm Eric Ridgway, and we're here to bring you updates from this weekend's tournaments, what happened in all of the online tournaments and at the Full Grip 3K. We had some really large results, so we want to bring you our thoughts for the Atlanta tournament this coming in 2 weeks. It's coming up fast. Gabe Smart took the victory down in Brisbane, down under. So congratulations to Gabe Smart. We'll talk a little bit about those regionals and what surprised us. We got some trivia. We got some, local shout outs. And of course, we can't move on to Atlanta format until we say goodbye to all of our friends in the F block. So we have some Banish or reprints lined up for you. We'll be talking about a group of cards, and we have to banish one and reprint the other. So we'll give you that segment at the end. But yeah, boys, how's your last week since our last episode? What's been going on with you?
Not an incredible amount, but did manage to win the Nakama locals on Wednesday somehow with Dragapult. Made some either bad or crazy plays or something, but it ended up getting there. And then ran it back. I think I was like 4th or 5th at Cool Stuff on Thursday. I did lose the first round, just off of not seeing a gust off like 12 cards or something like that, 11 cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens.
Does happen.
It does in fact happen, but got some store credit so I can buy some of the new set. And I'm right now, my girlfriend's at her mom's house, and I dropped her off there Saturday and immediately drove right back to Nakama's own card show, where I was a member of the Elite Four. Had to gatekeep Jack, had to put him in his place twice, unfortunately.
Well, you guys let Jack get 3 wins. Come on now.
Yeah, so when I played him the first
Jack's
time,
kind of goated, but Parker is the
Was
final
he
member of
still
the Elite
playing
Four
Lost
for a
Zone
reason.
Tina?
no, he is playing Maridon. He's playing pre-rotation Maridon.
Literally all week he's been playing Lost Zone Tina because he's like so sad it's leaving.
Yeah, me too, honestly. But yeah, the first game he'd used both bosses, Stretcher and Bundle, had no Fez on board, and I owned him the one with game on board next turn, and he drew the boss. And
Maridon's a good deck.
That's how I lost the first game to him, and then the second game to him, I played the Charizard Terror Box, and I actually just didn't do anything. So he just won.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
But I had to stop him at the door twice. First time with Lost Box, and then again with Gardevoir, where I attempting trapped with nothing on board, and basically just set it up to where I couldn't lose.
That's crazy.
And everyone watching was like freaking out. But yeah.
That's fun. Sounds like Nakama was a good time, Max. I think you were there too. How was your week?
Yeah, Nakama Card Show was a great time. This past weekend for me, again, also made appearances at the Elite Four. Didn't quite do as well as Parker. Couldn't quite hold up, but it was my triple Lost Box deck. It was Parker, and I was like, all right, one of us got to pilot this, and I gotta give Parker his creds as the superior Lost Box player, and playing a lot longer than me, and got done what was needed. Other than that, I don't play in online tournaments too much, but I've been cooking this like Raging Bolt with a Dusknoir idea. I actually brought it to the Elite Four, and that contributed to some of my losses because the deck just wasn't very good. So I made a few tweaks, added some more consistency, still kept the Dusknoir. Played it in the Pokemon Battle Park post-rotation tournament, so managed to make top 8 with that. Had a 7-0 star, which I felt good about, and actually would have won round 8, but I timed out in Bellowing Thunder, so I didn't discard enough energy because I was taking too long for no reason. Really just because I was overthinking things. So then the guy was just like, oh, attack and knockout. I'm like, cool, I just lose because I have now fallen behind the prize trade. But had a good weekend overall. Again, enjoying the card show, picked up some good staples, picked up a cute Mew card, so always good to add to the Mew collection. And yeah, things are good overall. Really just kind of gearing up for Atlanta and playing a bunch of different decks that I enjoy, and then got to decide here real soon what the play is.
I must say, I'm really surprised you timed out during an attack. That's like the most weird place to time out. Like I would expect you to time out like while doing a Noctowl or something. Like you just like overcooking, like, okay, what do I get? What do I get? What's my play,
I have my
right?
energy spread super wide with like the 8 bet. Well, so first I like clicked and I was like, okay, should I get rid of this or this? And then the timer's going, it's like, okay, it's fine. And I was like doing the clicking, but then like misclicked with the 8 bench and then just like couldn't exit out. I was like, did I really just cook myself here? So, but it's fine. And then I lost in top 8 because I played bad against the Goldango. It's one of those things where it's like I played fine, but I know that like it wasn't like, oh, I lost because I missed this thing. It was like, no, I lost because I put myself in a bad situation at the start of the game, which then snowballed. And then
Right.
like couldn't have enough like couldn't build a strong enough board at the end to like secure the win when I needed. So there's a lot of those cases where it's like, oh, I lost because of this. And it says, oh, I was even thinking I had a game over the table where it was like, oh, some could say, oh, I lost because my opponent Arch Aladon me 3 times in a row with black belt to KO me, my Goldango. But it's like, okay, well, no, I didn't lose because they pulled it off 3 times. I lost because I didn't go into my single prize Goldango to initiate the prize trade that way and like slowly build up to it, like force more actions, as opposed to me putting myself up in a situation where I could lose.
Right,
So,
exactly.
I feel like lots of players sometimes end up in spots where they say, oh, I lost because I got unlucky, but don't see that like there was a line they could have taken to avoid that possibility altogether.
Yeah, but for me, on Friday, me and my wife head down to Delray Beach because her birthday was last weekend. So she wanted to go get some beach time with some friends, and I like to tag along. So, Friday stopped at the Loki Pokey. Got everything ready for the upcoming tournaments. Opened a booster box because they were like the only place down here that had like a decent price. So I actually made a pretty good trade for a booster box. That was fun. Pulled the SIR something. I pulled something and sold it to Chris immediately. I was like, "You want this? Cool, great, here." So
Iono Belly Bolt, you think you said?
yeah, it was that. Yeah, Iono's Belly Bolt. Yeah, so sick card. I don't need it, so take it. That's why I don't open many packs because I really don't care. Anyway, so Saturday, she like this whole thing like kind of like went down. Like she looked at the calendar and she's like, "What's this thing on the calendar on the weekend the 29th?" And I'm like, look at it. I'm like, there's an online tournament, a 2-day online tournament that I wanted to stream. That was kind of the plan. So she's like, all right, well, can you do that mobily? I'm like, yeah. So like Saturday, like her and her friends go to the beach. And like, I'm at home. I've got the full grip 3K up top. I've got my tablet and I've got my laptop with Limitless. And the tablet has like, TCG Live playing. And
The ultimate
Limitless is on
setup.
I got a good setup. I got my notepad. Like I'm like locked in. I'm like ready to practice for Atlanta. So I ended up like going 5-0 to start, and then that's when the whiskey started, about like start of round 5, because like she got back from the beach around that time. And so didn't play very well in round 7. Round 6, I kind of got like sauced by a Goldango. Like it's just an awkward matchup. And then round 7 got sauced by All Out Blitzel playing Pidgeot Control. Like all day, there was like 2 to 3 Pidgeot Controls in my bracket, like all day. I was constantly watching them. I'm like, okay, they lost. Great. They lost. Just don't lose. And they stay out of your bracket. And then I lost round 6. And I'm like, bro, no. Immediately hit All Out Blitzel. Game 1, I really just didn't know. Like, one of the things, like, when you hit control decks, they challenge your mental, right? Of like, what do you do? How do you play through it? And I was just like, game 1, I just did not open well. He got set up super quick. And I was like, I'm probably just not winning no matter what I do here. Because, like, I priced Pikachu that game, so I'm not getting the Pikachu until late, like to KO the Pidgeot. And so I was like, I'm just going to concede and try to, like, win game 2 and 3. And so game 2 was super fast, just, like, board wiped him with Water Pond. And then game 3, just, like, it got down to it, where he got the retreat lock off for a couple of turns that were, like, very pivotal, and I just had to keep top decking out of it, and eventually he was able to win. But good stuff. And then round 9, yeah, round 8, the whiskey was really hitting by then, and I misplayed a lot in that set. And so I went from 5-0 to 5-3 in Tournament of Doom. But
Really enjoyed Noctowl. Where's my Terra? No,
dude, there was a lot of it wasn't that, but it was grabbing the wrong cards off the Noctowl for the most part. Like,
dang, yeah.
I'm just making so small, but like, things I wouldn't do. Like there was one where like, what did I even hit? I don't remember, but it was like one of those things where I needed to 2-shot something, and I had the perfect math set up. And like I clicked pass instead of attack.
Yeah, when you're cooked, you're cooked. It's just you just can't get around it.
Like I had the perfect math aligned and everything. I was like, oh. Fuck.
To be fair, you had played like 21 games of Pokemon, staring at an iPad at that point.
Yeah, and watching full grip 3K while that was going on. So it was a really cool Pokemon weekend for me. And then Sunday we kind of hung out all Sunday and then drove back today. You guys ever been to have you heard of a new golf thing these days? Like I know you're an avid golfer. Have you heard of the new like the putt golf place? Pop Stroke, I think
Where?
it's called.
Jacksonville?
No, there's one in Daytona and then there's one in Delray. So it's like
Rip Pop Smoke.
So it's like two 18-hole mini golf courses at the place. And so you pay like $30 for a day pass, and you can just golf as like you can putt as long as you want. Have you ever done Top Golf putt? Either of you?
No.
I haven't done putt, but I've done Top Golf plenty.
Have you seen their putt? Like how?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
There's
I've
a bunker and like stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they have all that
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Pop Stroke place, and like it's pretty nice. They got like a bar in the middle where like you could order drinks on every hole, and they'll bring it to you. No, it was really. I think it's a really cool setup. They had ping pong. They had foosball, like cornhole. It was really cool. I think if you're in the area where there's a Pop Stroke, like definitely head out because it was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
But yeah, let's talk about Down Under. What went down and down under Brisbane? It was kind of the timing was so weird because like they're so far in advance. For those of you on Spotify and everywhere, we're gonna share our screen on YouTube, talk about the results a little bit. But our friend and previous guest on the podcast, Gabe Smart, took it down with none of them were Maridon again. Maridon seemed to have a lot of good results. Took down a Roaring Moon deck in finals. So this is the Roaring Moon with the
Hourglass.
Power Glass, and even a Jelly. Interesting. But yeah, I mean these top 8 results are very interesting. Got a Lugia, double Gardevoir, a Ceruledge, and I think the Ceruledge had something spicy, right? Yeah,
Zamazenta V-Star.
and the
Yeah.
Zamazenta V-Star.
One last
yeah.
ride for Zamazenta V-Star, am I right?
Isn't that crazy though? That Zamazenta V-Star got a top 8 right before it left. Did it ever have a top 8 before?
And were they, and also there's like no other V-Stars really besides the Lugia.
Wait, hold on. What are the best finishes for this deck?
It's never had
One
I
a.
person
never-
played it in Merida.
Never got top 8.
Yeah.
Wait, another
yeah.
Ceruledge play. Oh, they had someone else on the list or something close to
Yeah,
it.
they had someone. It's probably the same list. Yeah,
Yeah, same
list.
list. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, Zamazenta V-Star got top 8 too. Who had that on their bingo card? And then Gouging Fire rounds out top 8. I think it was a top 10 ASM cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Henry
Henry Brand got in
Brand.
there after starting 0-2. But yeah, what's the drop to these results to you? I mean, anything to talk about here? I mean, besides Zamazenta?
I mean the Gouging Fire is interesting. I think a lot of people are just like trying to like bid farewell to like a lot of their things. So like there are like a pretty big amount of like Gardevoirs with refinement and Lugias and that kind of stuff. So like yeah, I think people were on like the one last ride train, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all these decks, besides Dragapult, are in the top 8, or Dix Ace in top 8. I mean, pretty much all kind of die with rotation. Some of the cards still around, but some of the key pieces are gone, right? For Maridon, we're losing some very key cards in like Forest Seal Stone, Raikou, Gardevoir, we're losing Refinement Corellia. All of Lugia is rotating. Roaring Moon, we're losing like Dark Patch. Like, it's going to be pretty hard to play with our Dark Patch. Even like Gouging Fire, like losing Magma Basin and losing Delphox, like makes that deck probably almost unplayable. Without changing a lot, right? So really big departure for like a lot of these decks. But I think a lot of Gardevoir, a lot of Dragapult, a lot of Last Ride's Gardevoir. Do have to probably throw some shade at Rahul because I don't think he got his last ride in Lugia.
He did
played
not.
He did
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
No, he definitely didn't. He got 4th place with Gardevoir. I mean, a great finish here, but I'm like, bro, where's the Lugia, bro? Just be flying high one more time.
No, but shout out to Rahul, who we just had on a few weeks ago. Again, great player. Lock in another top 4 at a regional. I know he's still chasing that win. But again, shout out to him, who's going to Japan this weekend to play in the Champions League. So
Yep.
Still keep him busy there.
And that's our NAIC format, right? Or do they not have all the cards yet? It's like between, right?
It's a fake format because
It's a fake format.
because the Champions League, they get some of the cards will have for NAIC, but the Rocket set will also be out for NAIC.
That's crazy.
Which is not yet out in Japan. So like
that's crazy.
this is basically like just like the fire set, like with Typhlo, like Ethan's Typhlosion and Cynthia's Garchomp and those folks, but none of the Rocket stuff just yet.
I'll be plays Goldango. It'll be fun. But yeah, I think his results are pretty standard. I mean, some of the things that stood out to me the most part are kind of like the numbers, right? Like Gardevoir, most popular deck in day 2 at almost 20%. We got some
Shout out
couple.
Slow King.
Yeah, a couple Arceus down here. Slow King,
Okay.
the Palkia.
Wait, you know we're not still playing Arceus.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, with
we
the
got two
fire.
Arceus,
Arc
bro.
Armorers. All right, all
Armor,
right.
yeah, see, it's Edwin Bach. That guy like plays it like all the time.
It's true.
Yeah. Got the Gigas.
He's a
Ayo.
stan. He's a
Counter
armor
game.
stan.
Bro's cooking.
Oh,
Well,
You got double turbo, fire off one, attached counter game, Refender with Jewel Breaker.
holy cannoli!
oh, jeez.
That is
Yeah.
actually that's fire.
Or it's Firebox. It is fire. Yes,
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
gouging fire.
it is gouging. Yeah, anyway, so that's the
Wait, no
that's the
Reggie Drago's in day 2. What a
Nope.
fall from grace.
low fall
What-
from
Oh,
Grace.
actually, yeah.
What happened?
I just
We got
noticed
Lost
that.
Box in
Only
day 2,
one
no Reggie
lost
Drago.
box.
Dang, Reggie Drago dominating the start. Didn't even no one believed in enough to make a day 2 with it.
Yeah,
All right,
Unfortunate.
one salute for Reggie Drago.
Rest in peace, Reggie Drago.
that's
All right. Anything else to talk about for Brisbane? I think the format's kind of chalked. We're done with
I'd like to point out my friend Lizzie got 20th. She's the highest Arc Chalet on there.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, Elizabeth Willett. I like her. She's a nice person. She's super nice.
Yeah, again, shout out to Cape Smart for bringing home the win from Maridon. You know, pretty still went to the secret box and I worked with like Caleb Gettimer on some of the lists, pretty similar to some stuff we've seen before. Actually not a secret box or a prime catcher, but it's always neat to see this full circle moments, which I think we've seen around rotation even last year. Which is like, Maridon shows it very strong at the first event of the season, wins a regional, and Maridon ends closing up the Prismatic Evolutions format with winning another regional. So
That's why I'm like over here. I'm like, man, how come why not work? And I'm like, we just lose too much.
you lose a
man.
lot. You lose a lot.
Lose all this is everything. All right, let's talk about let's switch topics a little bit to talk about the meta from the tournaments over this past weekend. We had a couple of big tournaments. We'll talk about Full Grip first because that was an in-person. Let me find where's my notes that have the meta. Sorry, give me 1 second. So the Full Grip was streamed on Tricky Jim's stream. He had the decision to not stream as much this season. So in favor of like streaming more locals and like bigger tournaments.
Yeah,
So
in-person content, yeah.
in-person content. So huge success, I think. And the stream was great. The quality of the stream was very good. Best of 3. Great content for Atlanta people trying to prep. So look forward to them to have more of those tournaments in the future. But we'll see here the meta for the tournament was Terrabox. There was 30 players. I don't remember how many. I think it said 160 players total. So whatever 30 divided by 160 is. So they had 30 players on Terrabox, 20 players on Raging Bolt, 20 players on Dragapult, 19 on Archaludon, 12 on Future. Rounding up the top 6 was FutureBox with 8 in their tournament, and we got Walls and Gardevoir right behind it. So pretty interesting meta here. I think it's mostly what we've kind of come to expect from these tournaments coming out of it. The bigger shock for me is FutureBox at 6. What else stands out to you from this meta from the tournament at the Full Grip 3K?
I see Mamoswine there.
Got 3
I actually like that deck.
Yeah.
The Hops deck, I think actually is I can't say slept on because I do actually see a lot of people playing it, but like it's not like I don't think it's best deck in format or anything, but it is actually very good. Like,
Yeah, I
the
think it's a good
Hops
deck. Yeah.
2 Blissey. Kind of expected more Cerule Edge, but 2 Hydreigons. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know.
More
Like,
Hydreigon than Zard is kind of crazy. Right?
that is funny actually. But seeing Future number 6 for most played is also interesting. It's like it is good, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for this like 160 player tournament, so good numbers, and I think there are some aspects that will carry over to regionals, right? Where some people will show up with, Moon or Cerule Edge and like Lily's box and like some of these other tier decks. But I do think in a case like this, for like a higher level tournament like this is maybe a little bit more skewed towards the top, or we're saying like 18% Terror Box, like kind of a lot. I think potentially. But again, like, I think these choices are still like the decks to watch out for, right? Decks that are known quantities. I think maybe besides Future Box, this one's a little bit less proven, but like Terror Box, Raging Bolt, Dragapult, I think are the 3 decks you need to be looking out for Atlanta. And then Archaladon, Goldango, and like Walls maybe, but like Future has been getting some hype lately. Some people enjoying it.
I'm thinking the 6 deck's gonna be Gardevoir. I think this meta's like really close to what we're gonna see, and then
Hmm.
like Gardevoir is gonna be in the top 6 somewhere.
It's like a
Um,
Gardevoir, like an ends seeing, that like last spot type of thing.
Nah, that ends, man.
People know, hey, I don't think it's good. I think people like playing it.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair.
I do like playing it, even though it's rough.
I mean,
Like
people, those Gardevoir players that used to play Gardevoir, are like, I gotta play ends now because we got Curly at home. Yeah. In the end, we saw Devin take down the tournament with his Terror Box versus Terapagos in the finals. I didn't get to really watch finals because at that point I was kind of hanging out with my wife and doing things on Saturday. It went really late, but and then I also had the GLC 1K stream the next day. It was really cool. I think the event was really well done, and this was a great weekend to start to get your mindset ready for Atlanta. Because the other things that were going on this weekend, where we had the big tournament of Doom regional championship 5. He likes to do this, when new formats change and things. They'll do a big online 2-day tournament, where we saw Dragapult Dusknoir take it down against Frostlass Monkey Dory in finals. And we look at the metagame for this tournament. Again, Terror Box 13%, Dragapult 8%, Raging Bolt 7%, Archaladon, Gardevoir, and Zoroark, right? So kind of like it seems like the biggest 4 are like the Terror Box, Dragapult, Dusknoir, Raging Bolt, and Archaladon, and then like 5 and 6, you just take your pick of the litter of like all these other smaller decks that people might want to play: Gardevoir, Zoroark, Obzation, Goldango, Future Hands, Terapagos with it winning 3K now. You got all these decks that people want to play, and if you combine Goldango and Goldango Dragapult, you got 25 Goldangos here. Sorry,
Yeah.
22 Goldangos.
Me too.
So,
Yeah.
all the way up to 4th place if you combine them, which I'm sure they did on the full grip, right? So interesting to see this meta. It's shaping out to be like what we kind of know for Atlanta, and I mean, this begs the question: based off of this tournament and the full grip tournament, what kind of decks are you guys enjoying like playing into a meta like this? What are your favorite decks right now?
Enjoying. I don't know. Like that's a big word.
Like if you
I'm
had to
still
decide right
finding
now,
it
Parker,
out.
what would you play?
Right at this very, very
At this
second,
very moment, if you had to play for
if
Atlanta
deck list
tomorrow.
closed in 1 minute, I would play some kind of Archaladon deck.
Yeah, Archaladon. You like the poison package, or you like
I
the
hate it.
hops? Yeah.
I truly hate the poison package.
poison package is broken.
Did you guys see his little clip?
No.
Azul was like, if you want to win more, just play the poison package, right? If you find your win percentage is down a little bit more, you can just cheese some games by just opening the right cards with the poison package and your opponent not benching more than 2 things.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of true, but like I don't know. When I play that like Archaladon deck, like I run into like 3 major problems, which is either no Pokemon Surge, no energies in the discard, or like one Duraludon and it gets killed.
Yeah.
And then like what do? I put Petron up and poison and pass? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, the problem is you're making it to the mid game, and you should have just won on turn 1.
Right, but that never happens. Well, if my opponent opens Buddy Puffin and going first, or they like, oh.
I mean, it is kind of crazy that the baby Dura can hit for 120 turn 1 going second.
Yeah, yeah,
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hits for 120, bro.
1-8. No, you're hitting
Well, no, I don't think
70 plus 30 from the stadium, so you can hit 110.
110.
110.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Still, that's a lot, right? Like that's like spit innocently numbers, right? That's big. Those are big numbers.
We got spit innocently at home. All I need to do is, get your Duraludon active, plus attach a Mochi to it, plus get your Brute Bile on the bench and poison it, plus get a stadium in play, and have your opponent not be a dark type, then you're hitting 100. Easy peasy.
Wait, is dark resistant to metal or something?
The stadium only works
Oh,
on
right.
non-dark
The
Pokemon.
only
Yeah.
works on non-
So Petron only takes 1 damage from poison, while the non-poison, the
That's
non-dark
right.
type
That's right.
opponent
That's
takes
right.
3.
I do remember that coming up last week.
Yeah.
That's right.
Most people
yeah.
forget the cards have other text to them. So, but yeah, I think on my side for the cards that I'm enjoying, the decks I'm enjoying, again, it's hard to say. I think anyone who's playing and hasn't played enough of this format needs to get over the fact that all of the decks feel inherently worse than they used to a couple weeks ago, just because you lose so much consistency. The cards that I have found very good consistency wise are like any of the Noctowl decks where you can just very consistently like pull off a turn 2 combo. Sometimes you have an easier or hard time with like Terra Box. It feels very good and consistent, and it's kind of like the deck to beat in my opinion. So you need to make sure that you know that matchup and have any outs to it. Other decks I'm enjoying that are playing that engine are Raging Bolt. Again, like I said, I played the tournament with this weekend. I feel like it has a pretty strong power level. And the Noctowl does give it some good options, but you still probably do need to like go first. You can sometimes like win situations when you go second and still do Raging Bolt things, but it's a lot harder to do that than it used to be. Because it was like Pokestop and
Radiant
catchers, like Radiant Greninja and all these other cards. Yeah, hardest part I found of that is just literally just playing Sada like turn 2. Like you have like I feel like you have to play Crispin just so you can actually like attack turn 2, which
Right,
is
because like
pretty
getting
bad.
the energy of this card pile is like the hardest thing.
Exactly. But also I'm spending some time with Charizard Charizard Noctowl. I think Charizard like does decent in the Terra Box if you can survive, but surviving is the hard part. And also Goldango. I've been a Goldango enjoyer, but I don't know if the right way to play that with Dragapult or play some other package. So spend some time with that. If I had to lock in a deck for today, I'd probably just say like, I'll just try to send Terra Box and hope it goes well. Even though I feel like other people in the room might be a little better prepared. So that's why I'm taking the next couple weeks to kind of lock that up.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying Terra Box. I think the ability to turn 1 or turn 2 Greninja basically is like pretty good. It's not as good as Greninja, KOing 2 of anything, but hitting the active and then hitting the bench is good. The deck I think that's like being slept on right now, I think it's just Gardevoir. I think Gardevoir with 4 charms, so you open it to protect your active. It is pretty frightening. If you're against Terra Box and other things too. I think Gardevoir could see a lot of success. There's a lot of good lists popping around, and I haven't seen a lot of online tournament results yet, but you got people playing it still, right? It's right here at 6.2% in this last tournament. I mean, where was the best finish in the Tournament of Doom for Gardevoir?
Yeah, for school,
43rd.
Farmies wasn't that good.
I mean, 5-3, yeah, 5-3, yeah. Didn't
Mid
make
and
day 2.
Zoroark finishing higher than that.
True.
2 of them.
Yeah, I was the highest placing non-day 2 player in that tournament. My resistance is crazy. Played some cracked opponents. Craziest thing, I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but we had Alessandro Cremascoli on last week, and he kind of said, yeah, Control's kind of, dead. And here I am playing against Pidgeot Control in round 7 of a regional online tournament. I'm like, bro, what the heck is going on right now?
Yeah, the deck looks a lot different and honestly a lot less good. But
Yeah.
All Out Blitzel's just kind of a cracked player. So
Yeah,
shout out
he
to
is a
him.
crack player. So we'll see what happens as we go towards Atlanta. So that's our thoughts right now. We'll have some more information next week. We'll dive deep into our tier list, our predictions, and we'll bring that episode to you next week. Try to break to you a little bit early, maybe Wednesday if we can get it done. Get it done in time. But I do want to move on as we talk about Atlanta tournaments. This is a shout out to all Northeast, Southeast players. You've got a big opportunity here.
Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia.
Just Southeast in general of the United States.
Even if you're up in Connecticut.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
if you're in the
even
Northeast and you want to come down, we'll have you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just let us know so we'll save you a spot.
Yeah, so anyways, Beach Court Podcast is hosting a double cash tournament weekend. So this coming Saturday, March 5th?
April
5th?
April
5th?
April 5th and April 6th.
April 5th and April 6th. April 5th is at Nakama Anime Cafe. And it will be at 12 p.m., $10 entry, 30-person maximum. And then Sunday is a $10 entry at the Wokey Pokey in St. Augustine, Florida, and 40 entry maximum there. Both places, if you want to pre-register, you can just give them a call they'll put your name down on the list. Please don't take a spot if you're not going to show up, because that's unfortunate for anyone else. But yeah, 80% of all entries go to the cash prize pool will be prized out to top X accordingly to Swiss rules. There probably won't be top cut either tournament, just because of length of time. We're doing best of 3 tournament. That's discretion advised. Tournament organizers, as we gonna get closer, we'll play that out depending on how big it is. But yeah, so cash tournament, post rotation, proxies are allowed. Come on out, get your Atlanta practice. This is a real opportunity to play against a lot of good players. Me, Max, Parker, and a lot of other good players here in Northeast Florida. So come on out and have a good time. Anything else to add, boys?
I'm excited to see some of y'all there.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the trivia that I unfortunately think you're going to crush. But I say that every week, and then last week you guys kind of struggled.
We got it though, did we not?
You did get it. You did get it. You did get it.
Parker actually knew it was 122 from the start, but he just played dumb, and we just came no.
Yeah, exactly.
That was kind of a total shot in the dark.
I'm
But we
pretty
got there.
I'm pretty confident that you're gonna get this one in 0.2 seconds.
It was another Pokedex number.
It's not a Pokedex number.
We're gonna fight.
This weekend in Brisbane, there was a new card that debuted a Limitless page. It was a new pink card. What is that new pink card that debuted a Limitless page this weekend?
So, assuming you mean A-Spec, unless you just mean it's a psychic type. Oh, actually, wait, it could be a new psychic type.
I think by pink card he means A-Spec.
Or is it a
What?
trick? Maybe it is.
Never
Maybe it's
know.
not a trick.
Oh,
Well,
this psychic maybe it's
Configuragus
purple.
EX did do well, but that is a purple card, I would argue.
Oh,
Yeah. What A-Spec was unplayable, Parker, and that now is probably still unplayable, but someone
What do
just
you
has to
think?
play it.
what do you think? So what are ones that maybe could be good? We got Megaton Blower,
Amulet of Hope.
Amulet of Hope,
Someone could have played the Megaton Blower.
Rigid
Okay,
Bands.
actually, it could have been Megaton Blower. No, Rigid Band's on A-Spec.
Not
actually, so
Rigid Band. No,
Survival Brace.
Survival Race. Yeah,
Someone
that
had to
one.
have played that before, right? Oh, actually,
Maybe
there was a Slow King that made it, and Slow King's been playing Max Rod, so it could be Max Rod.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably it.
Um,
Actually,
Also, what's the other? What were the other bad cards I just mentioned? Survival Brace. I said one before that.
upper half one.
Oh, it was Megaton Blower. I was like, since it's Australia, we're pulling in some of the Japan crowd. Daichi has his famous our child on list with the Megaton Blower. So maybe someone showed up with that respecting Lugia.
Oh,
Probably just has to be Max Rod, right? One of
That's
the newest
yeah.
A-Specs. The only one that's been somewhat playable of the new set. What's the other one? The one that you
Yeah,
search for
does it-
5 tools or something?
no, it's definitely Max Rod.
Alright,
I forgot
well,
about the
alright.
Slow King.
All right, we'll lock in Max Rod, Eric.
What's wrong, huh? Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's run through some of the things you said. So Configuragus does have a second Limitless page by Ashton Grant and UUSC London this year.
Shout
So they're
out.
in 22nd place. Megaton Blower has 5 entries.
Really?
So I was really excited for you guys saying Megaton Blower, but yes, it is Max Rod. That's why when you said Slow King earlier, I was like, no, he knows. He knows.
It's only because you shared it. It's only because I was watching the Beach Court podcast live that I knew that.
Live.
So if you want to know things about Pokemon 2, you could listen. Anyways,
I
thanks
was
for
like,
listening.
no,
y'all.
we need. I specifically did not call out Slow King in day 2 or look down that low on my screenshot because I didn't want you to see it. But of course, Maddox sees it. So congratulations, you got it right. I did think you would get it right. I mean, I was excited there for a minute because you guys were all over the map. I'm like, maybe they don't get to it. But you guys are both good and did get to it. So congratulations. Let's move on to our farewell to our F block cards.
Imagine we have an extremely high quality recording of taps that is being inserted here.
Anyways, so let's get into our segment. This is called Banish or Reprint. So I'm going to say 2 cards, and you guys have to decide which one you are banishing and which one you are reprinting. Each of you can disagree. That's totally fine. Each of you got 30 seconds to a minute to decide. First up, Max, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Parker. Comfy versus Curlia. Banish and Reprint.
Man, I mean, two just quintessential engine cards. I gotta go reprint Curlia and Banish Comfy, right? I mean Curlia, again, a card that if reprinted, Gardevoir would still be a top tier deck right now, but also just an extremely flexible refinement engine. And a single prize like refinement or trade engine. Right, we see Enzoroark with it now, but it's not quite the same. We like our Curlias. Yes, they get eaten up by Greninja, but Greninja's gone now. Curlia, you're safe. Give me Curlia.
Parker, what say you?
I'm banishing cards from my deck, so I'm picking Comfy. I don't know. That was just a super cool archetype. There's never really like been anything like it. And like I would bring that guy back. Comfy's my boy, you know, or my flower.
That's
The
fair.
flower in my eyes.
And you would always select that flower.
I would always
You will
select
always
that
select
flower.
We got some memorable Comfy moments on stream. You know, back to NAIC where, you know, he's Fire Slicks into
Andrew
Prime
Hedrick,
Catcher.
yeah.
The
and
Prime
Hedrick
Catcher.
does.
Yep.
I mean, Comfy's just that card. But man, there's some Comfies where you're like, Prime Catcher Roxanne, you play one of both, and you're like, bruh. So
Yeah.
Comfy's
It's like-
Comfy's just that card that like, it's really good, but it's also really bad.
Yeah,
Um,
it was definitely
Yeah.
not for the faint of heart.
Well, even this past weekend, I was watching Parker play the Lost Box game, and I go look over, and he's like, "I'm gonna go for one extra prime. I'm gonna go for one extra flower selecting for my thing." It's like Blood Moon, which you need to win the game, or like Super Rod, which you need to recover stuff. I'm like you brought this upon
Yeah.
yourself, buddy.
All right.
Don't miss
so
that.
Next up on the list here is Pogo Zapdos with its ability to add 10 damage to lightning Pokemon, also being an out to Mimikyu, or the Articuno with the Wild Freeze attack.
Silver Tempest.
Silver Tempest that was played for a while. To kind of freeze even Lugias, right? It was played to freeze Lugias at some point.
Yeah, the guaranteed paralysis with the self damage.
Yeah,
so kind
guaranteed
of a rare effect.
paralysis. Palkia played it a good bit. So Parker, let's start with you this time. Banish versus Reprint.
I'd banish the Zapdos. I mean, it became somewhat relevant just from a ride-on, but I played the Articuno deck after it came out. Like, I think was it like Jake Gearhart or someone played it. I played that deck a fair bit actually. Like I remember like beating. I don't know why it's so vivid in my memory, but I beat like 3 Duraludon players at like Wokey Pokey with it or something. Whereas like it's like a terrible matchup for Palkia, but I just like leaned into like the Articuno and I was able to like win that way.
Sick.
But yeah, no, I played that deck a fair bit actually.
Yeah. What about you, Maddox?
I'm not trying to go opposite Parker on all these, but I'm definitely banishing Articuno Wild Freeze. Super cool attack.
What?
I respect it a lot, but it just created like so many like weird games. I mean, you had like
I like weird games.
You had like Lugia's in the Silver Tempest format playing like an era to find their switch to get on Articuno. Like it was just like weird.
Bird
like,
Keeper.
The two waters was
Bird
like
Keeper.
Bird Keeper. Yeah, the two waters was just like uncomfortable to like power up. So like it wasn't as splashable as you want it to be. You're like, oh, I'm gonna play Emergency Jelly. Like it was cool. But you know what I do like and what is always cool? Amping Archaludons.
Yep. Yeah.
Or sorry, amping Duraludons, the little guys.
Yeah,
that 130 amp,
is good.
that 110 amp, like it just gave some flexibility. Good single prize attacker and Mimikyu. I'm a Rhydon enjoyer. Like I gotta give some love to Pogo Zapdos.
Yeah.
One of many Pokemon Go cards that became like extremely playable staples. That honestly is like a set that is like that. It rotating is like very impactful, surprisingly enough.
Crazy. I have a limitless page of both of those guys.
But you can only reprint one, and the other one has to get banished.
Yeah, I'm keeping Articuno, man. That card was great, dude. I love
banishing
that card.
Zapdos. Miraidon's biggest hater.
Could you imagine playing like Articuno? What if we play Articuno right now with Palkia and Monkey Dory?
Well, Articuno Monkey Dory was a little bit of an idea. Oh my god. But it loses to Miraidon, so it's unplayable.
Nah, we play Greninja 101.
You just
Anyways, let's move on to some of our other favorite Pokemon from F Block. So we got Barrel versus Archeops. Parker, you played both of these to a regional recently. Tell me which one you are banishing and which one you are reprinting.
I am banishing Archeops because I
It's
hate
not
playing
playable
against
without
it.
Lugia, though. Like, why would you banish that card?
Nah, when my opponent starts Omastar V and puts 2 Archon on the bench, I'm already upset. So I'm banishing Archeops.
Okay, and you're reprinting Burial.
Yes.
Okay.
Generic consistency or
It's 2 retreat, though.
dumbness. Okay.
Doesn't matter. Tail Snash is a busted attack.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
100 flip a coin.
All right.
Because tails is nothing.
Yeah,
But you never flip tails.
Yeah, same with Parker for me too, right? I mean, I'm reprinting Barrel, banishing Archeops. Archeops extremely powerful and broken ability when it's existed, but like not even about the brokenness of all the special energies that are around. It's about the solid consistency of Barrel, right? Just a straight draw until you have 5. Very strong, very consistent. We have Rev of Rooms, which you discard an energy. We have Iono's Kilowatt, but like all these cards, like
Well, we
they
got
just feel like
UEX. It's fine.
they just feel like a discount Barrel, like Barrel, but not as good.
Nah.
And as a Fusion Strike system enjoyer, I got to give some respect to just a free draw 5. Fill that board with the barrels. You're drawing so many cards. Brings back the Chen Pao days. So yeah, Barrel, just a great card. Would love to see it reprinted. Archeops,
Fair. I mean, for opposite sakes, I gotta say reprint Archeops and banish Barrel. Well, just because like Archeops wasn't that strong by itself. I don't want. I like where the format is going. I don't want a bunch of consistency cards. I like.
unidentified fossil rare candy Archeops.
Yeah, but then we lose
Accelerate
all the.
Legacy double turbo. Attach
Nah,
a jet
there's
to
no
your
double
Iron
turbo,
Hand.
bro. We lost a bunch of things already. We'll talk about it a little bit. Anyways, so
Fair.
speaking of 2 retreat for the barrel, next up we got Snorlax versus Mawile. We
The
saw
retreat
Mawile
D-lock
and
demons.
Gardevoir. We saw Snorlax be its own deck. We're talking about block Snorlax, not Lost Origin Snorlax.
And Pokemon Go Snorlax versus Lost Origin
Lost Origin Mawile.
Mawile.
Absolutely. Yeah, so what are we thinking here, Medics? Are we going reprint versus banish?
Man, it's like, it's one of those. It's like can't they both disappear? Like,
No, you
do
gotta
we
keep
need all
one.
this? I think I'm gonna. If I have to reprint one, I'm gonna reprint Mawile and banish Snorlax. I think the fact that you are committing your attack to the Mawile and the retreat lock does add a little more difficulty to using it.
Fair.
But you do trade that off with this extreme splash ability of Mawile. Has 1 retreat. It can use to set up extra damage, so there is a little more situational versus Snorlax, where it just says, "Hey, I just sit there and get in your way." So I'm okay. I'm okay with banishing Snorlax, and we'll reprint Mawile, and maybe it can trap again another day.
What do you think, Parker?
So I'm banishing Snorlax. I said this before. I think control in a card game existing is a good thing because it balances out. It takes away from greedy deck building, that kind of stuff. But Snorlax is not. I like when there's like an element of you as the player controlling the board. Whereas Snorlax, the gameplay with that is you literally draw your card for turn, you play a supporter, and you Rotom draw 3. And that's it. And your opponent just loses. So I am banishing Snorlax. Mawile I do like because you need an energy to it. It's colorless, sure, but you need an energy on it. But it also has a relevant second effect where they take 90 more.
Yep.
Which actually comes up a fair bit.
Fair bit, yeah. Yep. Okay, next up is the Radiant Greninja versus Radiant Charizard. Parker, who you reprinting and who you banishing?
This one's hard because I actually really like them both.
Yeah.
But I think we need a reprint of Radiant Greninja, but without that attack.
Right.
Just the draw,
Just discard
pitch an energy draw
two.
2. Yes, that would be very good. I think that card is healthy, but also having the double snipe is not.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I would. It's close, but I'd take Greninja.
What do you think, Maddox?
It's so tough, right? I mean, like Greninja, right? You have to take the whole card as it is, right? I mean, just an extremely powerful support Pokemon, an extremely powerful attacker, and also not really a liability. It's not a low HP. It's 130, awkward number to deal with. Versus you have Zard, where it says extremely powerful attacker, only a 1 prizer, but like you have to build up to it, or you have to commit a lot of energies to getting it. It can get stuck in the active, things like that. But honestly, like really tough split. I think I'm with Parker that like even though we have like the power of that attack, we're getting bench barrier back. You can play Rapska. I'll take the reprinted Radiant Greninja again. Maybe just one of the strongest cards we've ever seen in the game. Radiant Charizard. I'm sorry, buddy. You're also very good, but like Blood Moon kind of does what you need it to do. And,
yeah, I mean, for me, the fact that Radiant Charizard was a single prize attacker that hit for relevant weakness and format, like made it like I'm ready for it to go. Like just banish it, get it out of here, because there were so many things where like the format would be so much healthier without that card. Even with a snipe attack, I'd rather have a snipe attack than like a single prizer that just comes in and blows up big stuff at the end. So moving on, we got Lugia V-Star versus Regidrago V-Star. So Lugia V-Star was the early dominator of the format. Regidrago V-Star, once Kyurem came out, kind of started dominating itself. Banish versus Reprint. Which one we keep in? Which one we get rid of, Maddox?
Lugia really only good where I guess we're saying a world where like Archeops exists as well, where you have like powerful folks to bring in with it. But like, I'm too much of a Regidrago fan, right? I mean, I didn't never did as well as I like, but just some of the fun of just the toolbox style of attacking gives you so many cool options. Legacy Star, like an extremely disruptive to your deck, but like in a really cool ability since there's so few ways to like recover item cards in your A spec and things like that. So give me Regidrago V-Star back. I'm down for some more Legacy Stars, just dumping half of my deck on the first turn of the game. And Lugia V-Star, I'm done playing those matchups. Say hello to the Sheldon realm.
All right.
Yeah, for me, even though it's not my first day too, but first limitless entry was with Lugia. I gotta give it to my boy Regidrago. I actually really like Regidrago mirrors, and I like
No.
don't really like Lugia. Actually, okay, Prime Lugia mirrors are actually fine.
Prime Lugia mirrors were lit.
They were kind of crazy.
I got Raikou.
Yeah, I got Raikou, and then
it was more than that because you had Evoltol. You had to like play around Evoltol.
Yeah,
so
I
never got that far
Stoutlanded for 2.
I was too busy judge pathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
True.
But yeah, no, I gotta give it to Regidrago. I like the toolboxy, like pretty skillful kind of.
All right, give me a Lugia. We'll summoning Star back 2 barrels. It'll be fun.
Wait, that's broken. Hold on. Why haven't we tried this?
It's basically like playing Mew. You have 2 draw up till 5s on your bench.
Anyways, moving on to the next one, our consistency engines. Once Arven became a card, everyone found Rotom V was inherently broken. And the whole format, Lumineon V, was greatly broken. 2 of my favorite Crown Zenith arts that I'm very sad to see go. Like, out of everything that's leaving, all the Crown Zenith arts are like my least favorite, but I've got a binder full of Crown Zenith energy, so it's fine. That's like my favorite set ever. Anyways, Rotom V versus Lumineon V. Parker, which one you keep in? Which one are you getting rid of? I'm
keeping Lumineon.
No.
I think that kind of card's like pretty good for the game. It's better that it's a Pokemon that can't really attack, not like Tapu Lele, where you would actually you could play like Lele Acerola and like win games by just picking up the Lele over again, attaching double colorless and like choice belt and like that. But I'm keeping Lumineon, swimming with it.
All right. What about you, Max?
Yeah, Rotom V is a super, super interesting card. And I think one that, like, if we were to replay its reprinting and, like, F block to now, I think that card would see a lot more play, even from the beginning, of just to say, hey, I can just play I can play a Quick Ball or a Nest Ball or a VIP Pass and just get a +3 for next turn. Like, I think that would see a lot more play in some decks if we had, like, today's knowledge. But
sure,
as like a bench sitter, I think it's a little bit too strong, sets up your early game too much. It's just a free draw, enables a lot of control archetypes. I think Lumineon V, again, a very needed card, a very balanced card that says, hey, I'm a liability. I'm going to sit here, not a lot of HP. You use me for a powerful effect, but it comes at a greater cost versus like a Rotom that, is sitting around and just can kind of give a lot of value throughout the match. So I'm going to reprint Lumineon V. Some support are fine. I think is much needed in this new format, and Rotom V is banished.
Well, we have Lumineon V at home, Max. It's Pelipper.
True. Pelipper can stay.
Pelipper can stay. Yeah, I don't know. I think opposite. Like, again, I'm happy the format's slowing down a little bit. and I'd rather you draw 3 cards than get a supporter and like win the game immediately because you found boss's orders, right? So I'm keeping Rotom. I'm getting rid of Luminion. All right, next up, Maddox, why don't you tell us about this one? Because me and Parker are going to debate this one.
Yeah, of course. Right. So this one is the matchup of some of the creation Pokemon. Some of the powerful V Stars both have had extreme success in their time in the standard format. None other than the heavy hitters of Giratina V Star versus Palkia V Star. So we have our resident Giratina and Palkia enjoyers here. So gonna give us your case. Parker, why do we need to reprint Giratina V Star and banish Palkia?
This one's really close, actually. It is really close. I miss the like peak Palkia days, but
Palkia and Teleon.
Palkia and
Oh, I didn't
Teleon.
even play that deck. As much as I love Palkia, I didn't even play that.
Really?
No.
Oh man, you missed out.
I wasn't good enough to like search for cards from my deck back then. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, fair. Oh, that deck was a ton of fun. Dominated the format too.
It did,
but,
yeah.
But I gotta give it to my boy. I just love Lasona as an archetype. Like, I hope that they bring back something like it. I think it brought a lot of excitement to the game. Like obviously it took some skill to pilot and stuff.
Yeah.
But as you can see, in the hands of like the world's greatest players, it went on to win a bunch of regionals, bunch of events, tons of high placings at like its peak, which was kind of funny actually, because it was like a year after the card came out. But yeah, I'm bringing my boy Giratina back, but slim margin.
Slim margin, huh? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bittersweet for me too. Also, it is kind of close because I won my first cash playing Giratina V Star to a local tournament, down in Orlando at like a 1K. I played Giratina V Star to Worlds, in that
23.
was that Japan?
Yep.
And Japan Worlds. Yeah, so I played Japan Worlds. But man, do I love putting energy on Radiant Greninja and sniping. And it's just weird because like my first day two ever, I beat a Palkia player, and and then it came full circle where I started enjoying Palkia and I wanted to play Palkia, and I've always like enjoyed like playing with the numbers game, and like when my opponents don't do the math, just like absolutely punishing them for them not doing math, and I hate lost time decisions. So discard discard a water, draw 2, and put the water onto your Pokemon. Give me Palkia V-Star all day. I think it's very consistent. It's there's so many cool options you can power up with that attack. And we had Melody in format where you could like attach, draw 3. It was awesome. Like peak Palkia for me was that, not Inteleon. Just because like attaching cards, drawing cards is like something like Sada, bro. Like everyone loves Sada. It was basically Sada.
Sonic.
Yeah, so I'll go for the next one. I really want to talk about Palkia. That's all that was. Next up, V stars in general, all V stars, or Radiance. So like Radiance you can only have one of in deck. V stars you can like only use its powerful ability or attack once per game. Which style do you want to banish, and which one do you want to keep? Not like the Pokemon themselves, but like once per game power or only one of in your deck. Which do you prefer?
I kind of like the V stars a little bit more. I thought that they all had some unique once per game ability. It was cool. And then like the fact that you had to evolve into them too, so you had to dedicate, probably like 4 deck spots at least instead of 1. But a lot of them were also just great attackers on their own. So like I do like the V stars a bit better. Like the Radiance, there were basically 3 that existed. Except I guess Radiance.
Yo, put some respect on Charjabug.
True.
No one ever did. And now time's gone.
Rip.
No,
you had one opportunity, buddy.
I think Charjabug had one of the Zoroark V-Star or something. But anyways, for me, I'm opposite here. I like the idea of Radiance. I think the one of inclusions are like cool. I do think that if we're to see Radiance back in a style or some sort of reprint, that I want to see a little more utility from across the whole spread of them and not see the whole meta so centralized. I think the most diversity we had from Radiance was right at the end of Radiance life, where we saw Sneasler, Alakazam, all seeing some life.
Yeah.
But even then, like most decks played Greninja, right? I owned 1 or 2. So I owned like 1 Sneasler, 1 Alakazam, but I had to own like 10 Radiant Greninjas because every deck played them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, interesting. And Zamazenta V Star got its page. Shield Star.
Yeah.
I love the fact that like the star, like all the V Stars had star in their name. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
that's
that till like halfway through the format that
It
they
took me
all
way
had.
too long to realize that.
Yeah. So, I thought that was kind of cool. And just being able to make like cool advertising V Star markers was also dope, right? And now all we have is ability markers, right? So, have to get some new Beach Court markers soon. All right, moving on. Speaking of another V Star power, we've got arguably one of the strongest stadiums ever printed, probably since Chaotic Swell and Parallel City, in Pokestop, versus arguably the strongest V Star power we had in the format. And it was for Sealstone on any of your V Pokemon to go get one card from your deck. So you have to banish one of these and reprint one. Maddox, you go first.
Man, I mean, just the unbelievable consistency that a lot of decks could play with for Sealstone. It could be a very easy to include package of just a strong once per game. And again, like Parker mentioned before, the whole balance of V stars you had to evolve into them. Well, this you didn't. When you're first turn of the game, go slap down your V, attach a V star, and just do whatever you wanted, basically. Pokestop, probably the one of the most powerful stadiums. Again, a draw 3 or discard 3 or get 3 items. Again, I think really enable a lot of turbo decks. Listen, for some people have hated this card. I think this card is just so powerful. And at the end of the day, is a card powerful? Yes. Is it too powerful? Maybe yes. Is it fun to play? Definitely.
Definitely.
I'll reprint Pokestop and banish for Sealstone.
Woo!
Tell me about it, Parker.
I don't know. So this for me, Pokestop's one of my like most hated cards. Like even in decks that I played it with, I'd be like an energy and 2 Pokemon. Like I play like 38 items or something like that. But like that card is just like too good. It'd be like, oh, my opponent needs like Sada, Prime Catcher, and something else off of it. And they hit like Nest Ball,
Gear.
Pokegear, Prime Catcher, Nest Ball for Fez, draw 3, get an energy, Pokegear for Sada, and I'm just like, oh my god. The stadium didn't exist. Like the Ionota one would actually do something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. For Sealstone, I honestly am not a huge fan of it either. But it's I think it was like a little bit more I don't even know like if fair is the word, but like I don't know, Pokestop just felt bad. Like, either
I mean,
when
you
I'm
could use
playing
it
against
too. I mean, at least you
No,
could
I
use it too, right? I mean,
no, I get it. Yeah, you could definitely use it. Like the guy, like the Charizard player in finals, hitting what was it, double rare candy off of it or whatever it was. Like for me, it would have been Charizard, Boss, Pidgeot, or something like that. But I don't know. I'm banishing Pokestop.
All right, you're
I'm
banishing
glad
Might
it's
miss it, but
banished.
remember, what there you have one day you will Pokestop away 3 Colress for the final time. And you just never know when that'll be.
Yes. All right. Moving on. Hisuian Heavy Ball, one of like the ways to interact with your prizes last format after we lost Peonia. And then lost Vacuum, the one way to discard tools consistently. And as we're starting to see this meta evolve, tools are starting to become more part of the game. We got Town Store. Yes, we have Jamming Tower, but you got to find it, and it's so hard to find that. What do you think about these cards? Which one are you trying to keep? Which one are you trying to reprint or banish? Excuse me, Parker.
I mean, Heavy Ball is like I thought it was a good card for the game. Like one of the things that like annoy people all watching Pokemon is the lengthy prize checking. Whereas if you open Heavy Ball or whatever, you can eliminate that by just using the Heavy Ball. And it let you play all these one of Pokemon, which is like slightly degenerate, but like I think that it was like definitely if it wasn't in the deck, it was the 61st card in your list. Whereas like Vacuum did see a lot of play, kind of just depending on how much people wanted to respect like the bravery charms. And then like sometimes there was like a stadium you couldn't play against kind of thing, but I think I gotta bring back Heavy Ball.
Let's say you, Maddox.
Yeah, Heavy Ball is a very good card again. Enable a lot of cool deck building. I think as I've played this format, I haven't really missed Heavy Ball that much and said, hey, I can build my deck or to play 2 of the cards that I need or a little higher counts. I don't need to play as greedy with them. What I do miss though is consistent ways to find and get rid of those pesky tools in stadiums, and just a really, really flexible card in Lost Vacuum. Plus, it keeps the Lost Zone around just by a sliver because it says Lost Zone on it. So
True.
let me reprint Lost Vacuum, and we'll banish Heavy Ball.
True.
Assuming Heavy Ball.
All right, moving on through two of the really good supporters that we're losing. Colress's Experiment, as we talked about the Lost Zone, versus Irida. This is basically Giratina versus Palkia, but they're supporters. What are we saying about these supporters?
I'm keeping Irida or reprinting Irida. I mean, just I think that style of card is what a supporter should be.
Yeah.
Not like, I mean, drawing cards obviously is good, but I think like in a world where like every supporter is kind of like Irida, I think like the game would be like incredibly
slower.
like slower, healthier maybe, but like that's what I want in a supporter.
Yeah.
It's like Irida. So I would, even though I did enjoy lost zoning stuff, I like Irida.
Yeah, I'm with Parker on this one. Let's reprint Irida and banish Colress. Colress really only thrives because you could benefit from lost zoning cards. In a world like, no other deck is playing Colress besides these Lost Box decks. Irida has been splashable in any deck that is playing water Pokemon.
Wait. Other people play Colress. Come on now.
I mean, okay, I mean a little bit, but like barely, right? But they only played it because there wasn't any other good card. Now there are better cards, right? You play Colress in like an Arctina or an Arctura, but it was like, oh, I'm going to include Colress to be unique and different.
Sander Wojak played it.
And
Well, yeah,
there's a couple controls.
He played one of support. He probably played in Irida also, like in that list. I mean, he played like one of every supporter.
The Mimikyu Ogre Pond deck played it.
Yeah, I'm with Parker. Where like this type of card, Irida is like a healthy one for the game. We've seen like Volkner for electric Pokemon. We've seen what was
Arena.
it, Karina? Like those types of cards are cool. I would love to see an effect like this return in the game soon.
Cyrus's Conspiracy.
Exactly. So,
all right, moving on to the next one. We got Thornton versus Roxanne. Mike, should I go first?
Yeah, Roxanne. Again, I do love singing Roxanne by the police every time.
The Police.
Someone plays it. I'd be like playing against the team. I'm like, wait for it, Roxanne.
Roxanne.
But no, but we'll banish Roxanne, reprint Thornton. This ability to just like recover your attacker sets up for so much like, explosive plays. I think a card like this is like super unique to have and gives you a lot of like counterplay, and like scenarios for a very high cost using your supporter. And we got unfair stamp. We're going to need Roxanne.
Yeah. What do you say, Parker?
I liked Roxanne as a card. I liked that it was like actually a comeback card. I liked that it was like, I like that you don't not benefit from it. Basically, like sometimes like at the end of the game, like your opponent, like you need a card, but you're both at 2 prizes. Like you're really gonna Iono yourself to 2 and pray. Like Roxanne,
Roxanne can get you back.
Yeah, Roxanne could keep you in there. But I did like, I mean, it was kind of like a dead card sometimes. Like you draw Roxanne. There were times where I played Roxanne before Chorus, but
sure,
like, yeah, I don't know. Roxanne.
What if I told you that both those cards were in my first deck I ever made money with?
Yeah, Tina.
Yeah, I played them both in Tina.
Yeah.
A 2-3 Tina.
2-3.
Thornton.
Yep.
Get him out of here.
It was great.
He probably would have won more money if he didn't play the Thorn, but
no,
I'm just saying.
It won me a set, honestly.
All right.
Double Turbo versus Gift. Moving on to the special energies. Which one we keeping? Which one we printing?
This one's like a double-edged sword for me. It's like, I don't like playing against Double Turbo, but I also like playing Double Turbo.
Right, because it really wants Gift in the format, right? Like Gift's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, Gift's like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, Lugia could use it, but like, really, could any other deck use it? No, not really.
Was there any other decks that ever used it? There was some.
Regigigas.
Yeah,
like
Gigas.
Yeah.
Decks that
Rest in
cheated out
peace,
special
Regigigas.
energies, which is a broken game mechanic. But I'd bring back Double Turbo.
Okay.
Banish. Good.
What do you think, Max?
Yeah, Double Turbo is a good card. I like seeing a double colorless energy with a downside, as opposed to like just double colorless in the past. Would maybe like to see a reprint be something more like Twin Energy, where it can only be used by non-Roblox Pokemon. So we shall see. But listen, let's be honest. We know double colorless or some style that is coming back and being reprinted. Gift, could banish it, take it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I hope that they don't break double turbo, because if they do, then that's sad. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for all of our cards. In the F block, as we talk about, what cards we missed the most. There's definitely some we missed, left out. With, Misfortune Sisters, Dark Patch, Switch Card, Mirage Gates and things. But one last time, this is our final salute to all of our F block cards.
Shout out F block.
F
Anyways,
in
a
the
good
chat.
run.
Yeah, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Beach Court Podcast. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment below what you think we left out. And while you're doing that, make sure you call and sign up for Nakama and Woki Poki this weekend, April 5th and April 6th, where we will be playing post-rotation tournaments, cash tournaments. So come on out and battle against us. We'll hope to see you then. Till next time.
See ya.